The Mobile County Public Schools presents Homeroom.
Hi, and welcome to Homeroom, where we introduce you to the educators and the students who make Mobile County Public Schools the best school system in the state of Alabama. I'm your host, Renee Phillips, and today we're going to talk about a great program called the Extra Yard for Teachers program. It's put on by the College Football Playoff Foundation as a way to recognize some of our top teachers, because as you know, we have so many great teachers in Mobile County. So this fall, the College Football Playoff hosted Extra Yard for Teachers Week, and during that week, local teachers were recognized by various colleges, by the 44 bowl games, and by college football conferences. So all totaled across the country, teachers received $8.5 million from the College Football Foundation. So locally, the Lending Tree Bowl and the University of South Alabama selected some of our teachers to recognize. And these were teachers from Tanner Williams Elementary School, Williamson High School, Clark Shaw School of Math and Science, and Barton Academy for Advanced World Studies. Now, MCPSS TV was at Tanner Williams Elementary when the Lending Tree Bowl surprised teacher Kelly Parker in her classroom with a celebration, and she also got a $1,000 check. So we have film of that day that we're going to play for you now.
So we are here today to present you with $1,000 for your classroom
wow.
and a grant. So today is what is called the Big Day of Giving. It's part of the CFP, the College Football Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers program. The bowl, the Lending Tree Bowl, is a very big part in this. And today was the kickoff of this with the Big Day of Giving. So every college bowl game, every Division I football office is actually awarding a grant in their community. And we chose Miss Kelly Parker here at Tanner Williams Elementary, and we were very excited to choose her for the outstanding work she's done in the classroom, in the school, and just giving back, going above and beyond for her students, enriching their lives and helping them to learn.
It's a high honor and very exciting. I love that they are investing in education. That's wonderful. Well, I think I would like to increase our STEM supplies. That's our robotics, and Legos make great kits, and so I'd like to put that towards purchasing some of those building kits that connect to STEM.
That was wonderful. Kelly Parker is a wonderful teacher of ours. She was our elementary school teacher of the year last year. And so we had a chance to sit down and talk to her about this. And so we're going to play that for you now.
Hello, it's Kelly Parker coming live to you from Tanner Williams Elementary, and I am in my second grade classroom. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to the Lending Tree Bowl for their investment in our classroom of $1,000 that we were given on the Big Day of Giving. And so my students and I met, and we decided that we wanted to increase our STEM supplies. So we are super excited about those tools for science, technology, engineering, and math. Legos is one of their favorites, and so we are ordering some more Lego kits along with some kits from Legos Education. And those kits will give my students the opportunity to build and create objects, things, and then add a power source, use the iPad to code that power source, and make their creation come to life. So we're super excited for those tools that are on their way. We also are increasing our magnet tiles. These are the magnetic tiles that are wonderful for building, but they're wonderful also for 3D shapes, those solid shapes. And so we're super excited about increasing our supply of those as well. So thank you so much to the Lending Tree Bowl for investing in our classroom.
She's so fantastic. And we would like to thank Sherry Dial and all of her colleagues at the Lending Tree Bowl for recognizing Miss Parker and for recognizing our teachers every year. Now, we are fortunate in Mobile to host a college football bowl, the Lending Tree Bowl, which Mobile has done since 2019. The game is played at Hancock Whitney Stadium on the campus of the University of South Alabama. It's televised nationally, and it features teams from the Sun Belt and MAC conferences. So be sure to support the Lending Tree Bowl when they're in town. And so this show, we're going to introduce you to some of our teachers from the other schools that received the recognition. They received their awards from the University of South Alabama, which is also a great partner of Mobile County Public Schools. So I've got Barton Academy right here that we're going to talk to Melissa Moats from Barton. in just a few minutes after our commercial break, and to Williamson and Clark Shaw as well. So stay tuned for Homeroom.
There's a lot to like about Mobile County Public Schools.
What I enjoy about Mobile County School is the extra attention my teachers give us to help us learn.
Teachers are liking their access to technology, and students are liking the quality of their education.
I like the technology that's been incorporated into my education.
And since 1826, you have trusted us to prepare your child for their future, and we like that. Mobile County Public Schools. We are learning today, leading tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ayla, hi.
Oh, hi, Sierra. How are you?
Good, how are things?
Things couldn't be better.
What do you mean?
Well, I just started this new job as a school teacher with the Mobile County Public Schools, and it has been a life changer. Great benefits, the hours are great, and great students. Just overall, it's a great opportunity.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. I'm going to look into that.
You should.
For more information, visit mcpss.com/job opportunities.
Welcome back to Homeroom. Today we're talking about our teachers who received recognition during the College Football Playoffs Extra Yard for Teachers Week recently, during which various college bowl games and universities were able to surprise teachers with cash. Not only recognition, but also a check to help them with their school programs. And so joining me, I have Melissa Moats, who is a teacher at Barton Academy for Advanced World Studies. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. And so Barton, you received a $250 check for your programs, but tell us, because Barton had so many teachers apply, Barton also got a stipend or a
Yes, received a $1,000 check because we had about at least 8 teachers apply for the grant. My grant that won for the $250 is called From the Agricultural Revolution to the Space Age. And since I teach ancient world history with 8th grade, I had the kids plant their own seeds to kind of simulate being a person who had stopped roaming around being nomads, and then they started farming to see if they could hack it the traditional way. And while I was doing that, Mr. Dye, our 8th grade math teacher, he was like, why don't you apply for the grant, Extra Yard? And so I was like, well, how could I expand that? And so I started thinking that I could expand it to present day, because I attended Space Camp this summer, and they did a whole session on space food and how are we going to keep food viable on the way to Mars. So that's where I got the title, From the Agricultural Revolution to the Space Age. So this semester they're growing their own plants. The tomato plants are the best with the growing. Second semester we're going to try hydroponics, and then fourth quarter I'm going to take it further and have them kind of figure out how could we keep plants viable to get on a very long journey to Mars and back.
So I love this because you're integrating the history with science.
Absolutely.
And does it make it better for the students when they get to see how they connect?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I actually have a master's in STEM education, and I like putting in STEM activities for them so they can see that social studies isn't just about history. You can actually put all the subjects into history. So seeing that connection.
And the hands-on component too, so they're planting vegetables.
They're planting vegetables, some were planting herbs. Some of them died. I had the kids reflect on their stuff this week.
And that's a good lesson,
though. I was like, were you diligently doing what you were supposed to? Would you have survived if you were, had to rely on your skills? And most of them are going, we would die.
I would be in that boat as well. I cannot grow things.
Yes. So the ones whose plants died were actually doing some winter vegetables.
So wrong
they
season.
can resume. Yeah, so they can redo, restart, and they can take the mistakes that they've learned from the first session and use it for this new growth.
So do they grow them on the campus?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to start seeing them all around campus because they're trying to find the windows with the best light.
Okay.
I will tell you, one of the lettuce plants did die because they left it outside during our freeze last week.
Oh, no.
So yes, you will be seeing them everywhere on all the floors.
But those are skills to learn, I think, because as they grow up, they'll be planting things in their own gardens, and they learn about the water and the sunlight and all that.
Absolutely.
And so the space component, I love that. How does that work?
Eventually, what they're going to do is we're going to start researching about, first off, did you know that there's a deep space food challenge for adults? And it's a
No.
multi-million-dollar challenge where these groups of people have been competing to present ideas to NASA on how to keep the food viable. And that competition hasn't finished, but that's only for adults. So I was thinking about doing a mini one of those with the kids.
Okay. Because I heard recently when they go up to the space station, for example, they'll stay for 6 months. So they need food.
Yes.
So did the students brainstorm how they would grow food?
We haven't gotten to that point yet.
But they will.
But they will. They will brainstorm how we can do that in space. Yeah.
So that's neat. So this program, through this grant, you're able to buy the supplies to plant?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
So to buy the containers and eventually the hydroponics. I'm still researching those to see which one's the best. And Dr. McCall, our 7th grade science teacher, she's kind of been, I've been asking her for advice too, because she's our life science teacher.
So how great is it to get this extra help and this recognition from the College Football Playoff, and in your case, the University of South Alabama, to help you, to say you're doing a great job, here's some help?
Yes. So to receive the money, that's always helpful for any teacher, because all classrooms are usually ask for money. That's why Donors Choose was set up. But to have them see my project from the Extra Yard for Teachers to say, hey, this is viable, we want you to get one of those awards, that is just amazing.
Because I know that's one of the goals of the College Football Playoff Foundation, is to recognize teachers, and they know that y'all do so much, and so much comes out of your own pocket. And you mentioned David Dye a few minutes ago. He was able to attend the national championship game through this same program as Alabama's alternate teacher of the year.
Yes, but he won the grant last year.
Oh, he did?
Extra Yard for Teachers, his library like me.
Okay.
And so he has books about mathematicians and scientists from all different ethnicities in his library.
Fantastic. Well, I know Barton and you are going to do great things with this grant money, and thank you for all that you do every day for our children. So we have to break for commercial, but when we come back, I'm going to introduce you to some more of our teachers who have innovative programs that are also being supported by the College Football Playoff's Extra Yard for Teachers. So stay tuned for Homeroom.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-aged children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
You've got questions? We got answers. mcpss.com. Whether it's attendance zones, school calendar, lunch menus, or registration information that you are looking for, you can find it right here. mcpss.com. You can also get the latest news and district-wide calendar information, and it's just a click away. So when you need to know, and you need to know right now, check us out. mcpss.com.
Welcome back to Homeroom. Today we're talking about our teachers who were recognized recently by the College Football Playoff's Extra Yard for Teachers. They received grants for various programs that they run in their schools, and so we're going to learn about what they're doing with that grant money. And so joining me, I have Miranda Manley from Clark Shaw School of Math and Science, a history teacher.
Yes.
And so tell us, so you guys received a grant from the University of South Alabama and the College Football Playoff Foundation. Tell us what you're using that grant money for.
The grant that I wrote for, I like to teach my students by using local history and local stories. And so this year I wrote the grant to purchase a book so that each student could read the Jeremiah Denton story. Jeremiah Denton is a war hero, not only in America, but in Mobile's history. And I thought that it was very important for students to learn from his story, not only to cover the objectives for my class, which are the Vietnam War years, but also for them to get a great story that is inspirational about growing leaders and how he developed as a leader, what that impact was, what the challenges were that he faced and how he overcame them. But it also does teach the Vietnam year story.
Yeah, because it shows the book. I think that we grow up in Mobile and we learn the name Jeremiah Denton, and we know he's a war hero, and we know he was a senator. We even have a school in Mobile County named after him. So what is this book in particular? You said it's geared for the young audience, for middle schoolers?
Yes, so the Jeremiah Dent story historically is a very difficult story to read. This story is written as a young adult novel. It's geared towards youth. If you look even at the title of the book, I first found the book in the Scholastic Book Fair and could not wait to read it. The story is presented, he talks about his youth, he talks about his time at St. Mary's School, and how he was actually a mischievous youth, and how the nuns there challenged him to use his leadership in a positive light. And I think with middle schoolers, that's a great challenge that we all face, is how to focus on our students' strengths, but also sometimes what we perceive to be a weakness is actually something that we just have to channel them in the proper direction. So for Jeremiah Dent, she saw that he had great leadership, even though it wasn't school appropriate, and she challenged him to use his leadership to grow into a leader. And he talks about that frequently. And he talks about how powerful it is to stick together in a group, and how to uphold your group, and even through challenging times. And that's the beauty of the book for me with our youth, is so many youth are facing daily troubles, and we've all been there. In teen years, it's just a challenging time. And
Middle school in particular.
Yes, and so to hear someone else's story where he takes you through his life, it's not just his war story, but through his life in general and some of the challenges that he faced. And you're walked through the thought processes. And so even when he was in captivity, and they tone the story down so that it's children appropriate, but he talks about how they found camaraderie, how they used creativity, how they were innovative, and how they created their own secret language to communicate with each other, how they could work together and recognize when someone else was struggling and what that person needed and how you could get it to them. And it's really a beautiful story that our youth need, especially coming out of the COVID pandemic. We need children reading books to close those reading gaps.
Actual books.
Yes, and we need to teach history. History is being taught today unlike it's ever been taught before. We don't use textbooks. We use primary sources and documents and multiple perspectives. And so when I can hand a child a story and they're reading about streets in Mobile and schools in Mobile and familiar places, it immediately has their attention. And then when you start talking about secret codes and secret languages, they love that. Well, then when you get into the drama and the emotions of a real struggle, our students need to hear stories. They need to hear stories of struggle so that when they face struggle in their own lives, they can find inspiration in stories from other people. Even though the struggle is different, they can think back to that story and say, well, this is not what Jeremiah Dent went through. And they can see how he even found inspiration, and he found help from his comrades and how they stuck together. When he was weak, he depended on them. When they were weak, they depended on him. And I think our kids need to hear these stories.
Yes, so you really are bringing that history into their real lives and
Yes.
teaching them how someone coped with problems and how they can cope with their own problems and struggles, because we all struggle.
And how to help each other. This whole world would be a much better place if we could all recognize and be a little more empathetic towards others and what their struggles are and helping them.
And that's fantastic. And I know I've had the pleasure of being in your classroom before, and you always bring history to life.
Yes.
Yeah, and some of your other programs that you've done. And so I think this is going to be a wonderful thing for the students. And then when they drive by and hear about Denton, or read about him, see him on TV, they're going to know that he's a real person and the things that he went through. That's fantastic. So thank you for everything that you do for our students. You're fantastic, and I know that they're going to get so much out of this lesson that they're learning. So we're going to break for commercial, but when we come back, we're going to hear from Williamson High School's culinary program about how the Extra Yard for Teachers program is helping them. So stay tuned for Homeroom.
High school students, are you looking for a way to become a better leader? Then the Junior Officers Training Corps may be what you're seeking. If you would like to develop self-reliance, learn ways to be more responsible, and improve your communication skills, you can do that and more when you register for the Junior Officers Training Corps. The JROTC program is available to all high school students in Mobile County. JROTC, we build a better you.
Hello, my name is Kyla Brown and I am redefining ready. I'm taking AP and dual enrollment courses that will help me earn college credits while in high school. I am studying dental science that will assist me in my career choice of becoming a dentist. I am a Student Government Association representative and actively involved in other activities around my school and community. And this is how I am redefining ready.
Welcome back to Homeroom. Today we're talking to some of our teachers who have benefited from the College Football Playoff's Extra Yard for Teachers program, which gives teachers grant money to do some spectacular things inside their classroom. And joining me now I have Chris Suetat from Williamson High School, the culinary program.
Yes,
so tell us, what do y'all do in the culinary program?
Well, we teach the kids hospitality and tourism and then culinary, just a basis of restaurant work, even not even restaurants, just anything in the hospitality industry, tour guides, travel agents, a little bit of everything, and then we go into cooking and teach them how to life skills that they need to not only be in the industry but also take care of themselves, something so they don't have to, once they go off to college, they know how to cook. They don't have to eat ramen noodles.
Yeah, not just ramen noodles and grilled cheese sandwiches.
Right.
They can have some vegetables.
Even though that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But so we like to do lunches for the teachers. We do events on campus. We do some events off campus. And just try and give the kids as much real life work experience that we can.
Yeah, because I think that's important in Mobile County. We do that a lot, those life skills that they can use, in the classroom. And so they're learning. I know there's a lot of science behind cooking.
There
culinary.
is, and the students don't understand that it's math and reading and science and history, because there's some very famous dishes that started in Mobile, and people don't know that. And you've got to know math and science, because you got to know why something happens. And once they pick up on those skills, they're like, okay, well, and it actually helps them in their core classes.
So what started in Mobile?
The West Indies, not
West Indies salad.
I believe it. I believe it is the West Indies salad.
And that's with the crab meat.
Crab meat and the vinegar and oil and diced onions and everything.
That's neat. So a lot of people don't realize that.
Right,
that's
and
something local.
it's famous in Mobile.
Yeah, yeah. And so you received the grant from the University of South Alabama and the College Football Playoff Foundation. And tell us what you're doing with that.
So we are purchasing chef jackets for the kids. Several of our programs at Williamson have special uniforms that they get to wear on certain days, and we just want to highlight their program. So we want to be able to do the same thing, where they'll get to wear a chef jacket with the special logos, and they can stand out and take pride in their program. ROTC does it, our nursing program does it. So I figured, if they have something special about them, they can take pride in the program that they are in.
Professionalism.
Right.
It shows that this is a career that they could choose
and
if they wanted to.
It shows them, gets them practicing dressing the way you have to in a kitchen in the industry. So
it's such a good skill. You were telling me during the break that y'all do a really cool thing with collard greens.
We do. We actually, last year we partnered with the Mobile Police Department, and we grew about 60 pounds of collard greens on campus. We went out there, they helped us plant them, we watered them, watched them sprout, and then about right after Christmas, I believe, we harvested them, and we cooked half of them, and then we sold the other half. But then the ones that we cooked, the kids actually grew those, so they actually ate something they grew. plus the ones that we sold to teachers, we took the money and we put it back into our program, and we're able to do other projects with it.
And how fantastic is it that you grew it and then you eat it? So you see the whole process and then sell the money part.
The kids have started to realize that, hey, I actually did this, and it makes me feel good because I've always tried to grow food, but I've never been able to.
Mm-hmm.
I've always forgotten to water it or something like that. But this is, the kids were like, can we go water the greens? And I was, yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what time they needed to ask.
That's fantastic. They got to go outside, they got to grow them, eat them.
And then, with us going out there, other people were saying, well, why do they get to go outside every day? Mm-hmm. And this was another interest builder in the program.
Get more kids in the program. Well, that's great. I know you have a big event coming up where you're going to cater, your students are going to cater for the Lonnie Johnson Educational Complex, named after the inventor of the Super Soaker who went to Williamson High School. So good luck with that event, and thank you for everything that you do for our students to prepare them to be college and career ready. That's all the time we have for Homeroom. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Homeroom.
Why Mobile County Public Schools? We can tell you a multitude of reasons, but we'd rather show you. We're producing college and career-ready graduates equipped to compete and excel in a global economy.
We're doing it by providing rigorous, relevant instruction that challenges students to not only learn facts and equations, but to think critically and globally. We're doing it by providing multiple pathways to college and career readiness, such as our 12 signature academies that focus on specific career fields in demand in the Mobile area.
We're doing it by hiring and supporting quality teachers, administrators, and support personnel, and providing them with the tools to succeed, both in terms of technology and professional development.
With 88 schools and about 54,000 students, more than 7,200 employees, we are Alabama's largest public school system.
We have 13 national Blue Ribbon schools, 7 magnet schools, 4 schools with IB designations, a year-round school at Bondi Elementary, and more than 60 classrooms that offer Alabama's award-winning first-class pre-K program.
We're giving our elementary students a solid foundation through robotics and other STEM programs, project-based learning, makerspace collaboration labs, the PACE program for gifted students, and numerous other initiatives. Several of our elementary schools are demonstration sites for Talents Unlimited.
Innovative high school programs such as University of Alabama Early College at Murphy, the Cambridge program at Alma Bryant, and the AP Capstone at Baker give our students a head start towards college, along with a variety of advanced placement and dual enrollment opportunities at our high schools.
Our students earn more than 15,000 career credentials and were offered $159 million in scholarships in 2019. We have raised our graduation rate to 86%.
But we're determined to do more. We get up every day ready to give 110% to ensure that we're producing well-rounded students and graduates who are ready to meet the challenges of the 21st century. And we're going to do just that.
In Mobile County Public Schools, we are learning today, leading tomorrow.